Have you ever wondered what your odds are of making a certain level, whether it's NCAA D1, making it to the NHL, making it to junior hockey, all that stuff? I know I have as a player, and overall you'll get some advice saying, oh, it's impossible to make it, whatever, you'll never make it, or yes, it is possible, but you get some weird percentages and all that stuff. We have a solution for you guys here that we just came up with. It's called the player probability tool, and we're gonna dive deep into it here into this video. What's going on, guys? For those of you who are new here, my name is 𝗵𝗂𝗶𝗴, and I'm the CEO and founder of Advancement Hockey Advising. And today we're going to be showcasing to you guys the probability tool that we've built and how you can utilize it as a player to know where you stack against the competition, generally what your odds are of advancing to the next level, and even get suggestions as to what you need to do to improve to advance to that next level. So overall, we created this tool because back when I played, it was like, you get stories here and there of people saying, yeah, like, your odds of advancing here, this and that, but it was never based on objective data. And as we were like advancing players, we gained through experience what the odds kind of are, but we didn't have objective tools basically to use. And now that's why we decided to build this at 𝗏𝗂𝗏, so we can give our players objective tools and coaches too objective tools as to what are the odds of this particular player of actually advancing to the next level. Now, it's a tool, it's not perfect, and we're currently working on improving it right now, but at least it can give you an idea as to what you need to do to advance. So myself and Stefano are going to go through examples as to how we use the tool and examples as to how you can use the tool as well to be able to have an idea as to what the odds are of advancing. So let's start with our first example here, where we have the screen shared here with our probability tool. Here you can see the league. So we're just going to start with BCHL as an example. We're going to put the Penticton Vs. Perfect. Let's say we're looking at an 18-year-old, all 18-year-olds playing for Penticton Vs. Let's do forward position, and let's do 1 point per game. So this is going to be the range that we use. This we're not going to touch. And then we submit. Happens pretty quick because they could only find 6 forwards with that profile. So as you can see, NCAA, about 67% of these 6 forwards moved on to NCAA D1, which is great. So about 4 of them right here that you can see. You can see that 3 of them moved on to the ECHL, and that some of them moved on to this pro league here, the Elite Ice Hockey League. And then you see other ones here at other leagues that they moved on to. You can see like the smaller percentages like AHL, all that stuff. So you have seen some move on to the higher levels like the AHL, but these are the top 3 that they've moved on to. Now, you can see that this is a very specific search, so you're getting less results, right? You're making it more narrow as to the type of search that you want to use. So the next example that I kind of want to use here is something along the lines of, let's say you're a CCHL player and you want to see CCHL, all of the defensemen, we're not going to put age, all the defensemen at the CCHL that have 1 point per game, where are they going to advance to? So this is going to be a bit of a broader search. CCHL, 62 defensemen that had these criteria for 1 point per game. Where did they advance to? This makes kind of a lot of sense, right? 45% of them, so about 28% of them actually advanced to NCAA hockey. We see that ECHL, so the East Coast, they advanced to here. There's 14 of them. And then you see U Sports as well. There's basically 12 of them that advance to the U Sports level out of these 62 guys. And then there's other levels that they advance to, like D3, like SP, like OHL, all that stuff. But the broad majority of the guys advance at this level here, which makes sense, right? Like a guy, D-man that does a point per game in the CCHL, they're going to go places. They typically advance to quite high levels. So as you can see, more results because a more broad search here, which when you're at the younger levels, that's typically what we recommend with the tool here, just because there isn't as much data. So let's do one more. We're going to refresh the page one more time. M18 AAA. So this is Quebec, Quebec AAA hockey. So this is quite good hockey, actually. We won't select the team for this because it's a younger age. We won't select the age either because, again, when it's a younger age group, you don't want to really filter for age because the stats aren't always that accurate with the leagues that report to elite prospects and everything. So I wouldn't filter these two. I would do forward, and let's do 1 point per game here. So let's see what comes up. I would say, so here, the search is actually quite broad, so you got quite a few results. So you should get a good idea as to where guys advance. As expected with Quebec AAA, most of them will advance to the QMJHL, right? So I think 260, so a lot of them with that framework advance to the Q level. Basically, a lot of them advanced to junior AAA in Quebec, which makes a lot of sense. And then some of them advanced to U Sports, right, if they're more academic focused. So you can see kind of like the total numbers here. One feature we want to include is like, what are the odds like out of total, basically? So let's say, you know, out of all the years, all the data that we're retrieving from, the 260, what are the total amount of players with these stats, just to see, okay, how many of these guys actually advance to that level. But for now, this is what we're working with. I think it's something to have in the future.
It's time we play around with AHA's new probability tool. This is on our website. This tool will give you the past 10-year statistics about where players go, what they've done, the points they needed, all of that. You want to see what path you're going down? You want to see what your probabilities are? We got it for you. Let's take a look. So we're going to talk about my old league. QJHL, Quebec League, you know. I played for Longueuil, all right? I was, let's go with 18. That's when no, at 19 I had my best season. Let's go with 19. I was a goalie, roughly that. All right, we're gonna do the QJHL. You're a goalie, you're 19, you have a 900 save percent average. Let's just see. Here's the statistics it shows. At 19, if you have a 910 save percent average, 28% of the guys went to the Q. 28% of the guys went to Senior A, which is a very, very, very low semi-pro, whatever you want to call it. And then 42% went to a step above semi-pro in Quebec. Semi-pro has 3 or 4 or 5 even semi-pro leagues, from LNAH to AAA, AA, whatever the other ones are. Let's go look at the MJHL. I'm a big fan of the MJHL. 19-year-old goalie. Let's put him at a 910. Let's see what happens. 19-year-old goalie with a 910. All right, we have quite a few here. We have 7 NCAA Division III goalies, 4 FHL, which is the Fed FPHL, 3 U Sports, 2 Junior, I'm assuming that's Junior B, probably. 2 SPHL, 2 AHL goalies. That's awesome. That is incredible. CRL, I don't know what those are. Those are assuming are semi-pro leagues. And then this is the LNAH, the semi-pro league in Quebec. Let's change that league to the AJHL. And yes, I'm sticking to goalies because I am a goalie. In the AJHL, ooh, we got 25.7% go to NCAA D1, 20% D3, 17% CIS. Those are the top 3, which is incredible. A 910 in the AJHL, one of the best leagues in Canada. We got 9. We got 7. 6 ACAC, which is kind of like Division 2, lower level CIS. 4 in the SP, 4 in the BC, 3 in the SJ, 2 in the OJ. Let's check OJHL goalies. 20-year-olds, 910. Let's see what happens with the OJ. Curious about this one. 30% go CIS, 26% NA3, 14% in the AHL. Wow. So there's been 15 CIS, there's been 13 NCAA Division 3, there's been 7 AHL, 7 NCAA. Let's go check the AHLs because I'm curious. 𝗂𝗵𝗿𝗏, I know this name. You see, you click the guy's name, it brings you right to his elite prospects. Played in the East Coast last season. Let's see Joe. Oh, I know. This is why I know Joe. Okay. So he played in the Goj, 908, 907. Went to the OHL, 867. In the OJHL, 923. Went back to the O, 944. Otters, didn't go great. Then he played in the Q, which is why I know him. 904. Went back to the OJHL. So this man did a lot of teams in junior hockey, let's just say. And then he started in the lowest level pro, in the Fed. SP, East Coast. SP, East Coast, East Coast, East Coast, East Coast. Played 2 AHL games. You're going to say, yes, it's 2 games, but he still got to the AHL, working his way up back in the East Coast. Let's see if we go back to the tool. We got... Tony played 34 games. Let's check out Tony. Tony finished his career in 2015 in the East Coast. He is an 89. All right, so we go down. He played 2 years in the OJ, 4 years of college hockey, was unbelievable in all 4 years. East Coast, 3 games in the AHL. Good for him. You see, as you can see with this probability tool, you get to see a number of leagues, huge number of leagues. You get to put in what team if you want to look at a specific team, the age, and then if you go defense or forwards, it tells you your points per games. And then you can put in how long you want to be considered. The basic is 10 years. So if you put 10 years, it'll go past the last 10 years. That's the furthest you can go. This tool isn't 100% accurate, all right? It just gives you a general pathway to show you what's going on. This way, if you're playing AAA, you want to get into AA, go check the stats. You'll see what is doable, what you got to do to get there. Again, there's missing plenty of factors that show who made it and why they made it and all that, but this gives you a general guideline, puts it in numbers for you.
So I hope that gave you a better idea as to how you can use the tool and help you advance to the next level, or help you give an idea as to what the odds are of advancing to the next level. That being said, the tool's not perfect. We just released it about a month ago, and it's still in like the beta testing phase where we're getting feedback from people and seeing what we can do to improve. We've already got a really good set of feedback, and we're already building the 2.0 version as we speak right now. And here are the things that we're looking to release in the future to make the tool that much better and that much more accurate for you to be able to use. So the first thing we want to do is to make the age more as a range, not like a hard set number. So if we want to make it like 16 plus, or if we want to make it like 16 to 19 and 19 and under, whatever that is, you know, we want to make it more as a range, because when we really put age as a hard metric, it really limits the number of options, and you can see like the no results found that we sometimes see using the tool right now. The second thing we want to do is similar concept, do a sliding scale for the points per game. Right now our points per game, like if you say I have 1 point per game, it's a really narrow range, and at that point it can really limit the results if you're trying to get ultra specific. So what we want to do is, again, the sliding scale. So let's say it's like 0.5 plus points per game, or if it's like 0.5 to 2 points per game, you know, if you want to see like a wide range, you'll be able to see it at this point with these updates here. And this leads to my third point here, where we often see the no results found section because the search is so specific that there's not really that many comparable results. So because of that, we want to have these ranges here that people have, especially when you get at the lower levels, let's say the prep level or the young AAA level. At that point, there's not as much data. So it's important to have those larger ranges to be able to find a good search that works for you, basically. The next big feature we want in there is to be able to search by player name, where it's basically like you search a player name, you match it to the probabilities of a similar like set of criteria that we use to generate the results for the probability tool. So you input the player's name and you get their probabilities listed out based on the criteria that they meet. And then from there, you also get their elite prospects profile highlights. So that's a really exciting feature that we're looking to roll out in the next version here. That's going to make it really easy for you guys to just search yourselves up and see your probabilities, basically. And then once that feature is done, we're looking to be able to go a step further. And let's say you have a roster of like 300 players or so, you basically drag and drop the roster in there, and you get the top 3 probabilities of each player pretty much throughout the entire roster. And this is going to be very powerful for coaches, but it's going to be used by players too. If they want to see what their team probabilities are, they can just drag and drop and put it in there and get the results. Another one we're working on is to create a profile to be able to save your data. So you basically have profile, you save all your data, you can go back to the, you know, the probabilities that you came up with, you can share with friends and all that stuff. We're really looking to implement that as well. The next feature is having an AI chatbot option where you ask it, let's say, how many players from the BCHL that are forwards with 1 point per game advanced to the NHL, or how many NHL players played in the BCHL. This AI chatbot, hopefully, that we can get to build, can just spit out to you the answer by using the tool's data. And last but not least, we know that for defensemen and that for goalies, the hard stats don't tell the whole story, and video analysis stats such as Instat that they use really can make a big difference as to defenseman or goalie moves on or not, you know. So those really are a big factor that we're trying to integrate somehow into this tool. We don't have the answer yet, but we're in talks right now with different organizations to see if this can actually be possible to give you guys the best results moving forward with this probability tool here. And that's it, my friends. A lot of exciting stuff coming out, but right now the tool works quite well. So definitely, if you're playing in a junior league, if you're looking to play in a junior league, in an NCAA program, major junior program, and even in the pros, this tool is quite good. It's quite accurate right now, especially at the higher level. So definitely utilize it. It'll help you kind of give you an idea as to where you stand. So if you like this video, definitely hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell if you haven't already. Watch this video or this video if you want to keep watching, and we'll catch you on that next one here.